All right, so we're going to start a little tutorial on how to carve your linoleum block now that you've got your design all transferred. And you should have two things. You should have a speedball cutter handle, which is this. You should also have your metal bench hook plate, which we'll use for carving, and then later on we're going to use for inking. Inside your handle, if you unscrew the end, you will find all of your different tools, your different cutter blades. They range from a 1, which makes the very tiny lines. You can see how skinny that is, to a 5, which is the largest, the widest. And you can see the difference in the scoop size. There is a sharp end, and then there is a rounded end. Make sure that the rounded end on your cutter blade is what goes into your handle. So you're going to need to pick out your blade, and then let's say I'm going to choose a 3. The numbers are on this wide part. And you know that the top of the number is pointing towards the round end that goes inside the handle, and the bottom of the number is pointing towards the sharp part. So keep that in mind. Pull out the blade you want and keep the rest inside here. You do not, these are kind of expensive. You don't want to lose these. So keep those handy in your handle. And now you've got your piece. You're going to take your rounded end, and inside you can see there's like a center ball bearing. That's not quite focused, but and then there's curved metal pieces around that ball bearing, and one side the curved piece is really skinny. I'm going to put this in between the skinny part and the ball bearing part, round part at the bottom. And sometimes these are a little finicky. You may have to kind of loosen it up a little bit more to really get that down in there. Try not to unscroll this all the way, or you will lose those interior pieces. All right, I'm going to tighten that up. Now, carving is actually very easy. You are going to be carving off about the top third of the depth. If you're looking at this, I don't want you to go all the way to the bottom and break through to this burlap, or you'll weaken your block. So I would say like you're just looking to skim off like the top third of the thickness, if that gives you something to reference. So you're going to put this on your bench hook plate. Should remember that from Art 1, and you're going to carve away from you. Always carve away from you. Always go slow, and always carve the brown part. So if it's brown, carve it down, but don't carve any of the Sharpie design. If you need to carve an area that is further away, try turning it around. Even just having like a corner braced against the top is something that's going to be helpful. And notice I'm working pretty parallel to my block. I'm not digging straight down or gouging. I'm just skimming the top. I recommend that you outline the brown shape that you're carving first, and then carve away the rest. And I also recommend that you pay attention to the lines your carving is making. So for instance, something like this, the carving marks create a little added emphasis of the sky. Something like this, you see the carving marks flow down with the waterfall, flow horizontally with the lake. So the carving marks are sort of accentuating the direction of whatever the shape is. And that way, if it does catch a little ink, it kind of goes with the design. So that's it. That's pretty much your tutorial. You're just taking your time and carving. This should take a little bit of time, but a lot of this will be done at home. So please check for your group when you should have this done by. It's going to be slightly different for each group. But hopefully once you get carving, then we'll be able to do some printing in class. Virtual students will be printing at home, and you have materials supplied. Check Google Classroom for your deadlines, and good luck carving. Make sure carving away from yourself. Keep some Band-Aids handy just in case you forget that part.